Hello, I'm Marjori Han and I serve as the Deputy Director for Vrouwennet VZW, which literally translates to Women's Network. Our organization is dedicated to supporting female entrepreneurs and by extension all women with an entrepreneurial spirit. We have 260 local groups in Brussels and Flanders, and they are all run by volunteers. And in those groups, women of all walks of life come together, they learn together, they discover together, they form friendships, partnerships, and it's wonderful to see the sisterhood that is created during those gatherings. Female entrepreneurship is really important to us. We believe female entrepreneurship can really make a difference in our society, and that's why we want to support female entrepreneurs. We have programs like the Fempreneurs Mentoring Program, seminars, and also every year we award the prize for the Female Entrepreneur of the Year with our annual Woman Award. Who was the person in your life who had the biggest impact on who you are today, and what did they teach you? I guess it's a classic, and I guess a lot of people would say their mother or their father. In my case, I would say it's actually both. It's really a combination of the two most important people in my life, my mother and my father. They had totally different personalities, opposite even in some ways. And I think by now, at this stage in my life, I hope that I have incorporated the best sides of both. What I inherited from my mother is her incredible drive and her resilience. She has had an extremely tough start of her life. She actually grew up in a Japanese prisoners camp in Indonesia, and her life was marked by trauma. But she's been an incredibly strong woman, and I really admire her for how she built her life together with my dad, moving to Holland and building her life there. My father is Indonesian born but from Chinese descent, and somehow I feel Buddhism just was running through his veins, and I think that what I inherited from him mostly is his gentleness, his acceptance and tolerance of things. And I think that combination of being very driven on the one hand, but also being very gentle and accepting on the other hand, makes a really, really good combo. So I thank both of my parents, who unfortunately aren't with us anymore, but I thank them very much for giving me those wise lessons and those important values. If you could describe your journey in 3 words, what would they be and why? First one being, discover your values, find out what's really important to you. I guess I found out relatively late in my career, in my life, what really mattered to me. I've always been an extremely hard worker, very loyal to the companies I worked for. And I guess at some point I realized that I was following a path that people expected of me, and probably that was a path that was not really right for me. It was what people expected me to do. Just to give an example, it's climbing the corporate ladder, it's accepting promotions that I probably didn't really want. And at some point in my career, I was in a situation where I had to let go several team members in spite of my own better judgments. And that's really when I found out that what I was doing in my career no longer corresponded to my own personal values. So I really had to do a little bit of soul searching to find out, so what is it that's really important to me? And now that I know, I can live by it. I try to find it in my personal life, and I try to find it in my work environment. So really important to find out what's important for you and to follow your own path and not do what is expected of you. The second word would be boundaries, knowing your own boundaries. It's very similar to what I said in my first example. I think it's very important to stretch yourself. It's by occasionally pushing yourself that you can grow, that you can develop. It's when you're outside your comfort zone that you learn. On the other hand, you have to be very watchful and mindful that you don't cross your own boundaries, because that can be harmful. And I have to say that I had to learn the hard way. So knowing your values, very important. Knowing your boundaries, equally important. And then finally, I would say that having a good balance of EQ and IQ is also very essential. I think in management and leadership, it's important to understand that it's not only about strategy, it's not only about numbers and expertise, but what's equally important is that you can listen, that you have empathy, and that you understand the human side of business. I truly believe that when you blend the analytical thinking and the emotional intelligence, that's when you make the best impactful decisions, and that's when you can come to the strongest partnerships. If you had to create a life motto based on your experiences, what would it be? I guess my life motto will have to incorporate the 3 important lessons that I've learned throughout my life and my career, which is, first of all, honor your values, know what's very important to you, and live by it. Secondly, stretch your limits, because when you're in the stretch zone, that's when you develop and learn and grow. And finally, know your boundaries and don't cross your boundaries. So I guess the motto is honor your values, stretch your limits, but guard your boundaries. Women are often told to be strong, but strength can look different for everyone. What does strength mean to you? I think to me, true strength comes from being grounded in who you really are, even when difficult circumstances test you. So during challenging times, it's really important to trust your instincts, to know your instincts and to trust them, to believe in them. And this is really not easy. I think I really had to learn the hard way. But it's about living by your values, trusting your instincts, because at some point in time you have to make decisions, and you have to make tough decisions. But you know that your tough decisions will be the right decisions if you follow your values and trust your instincts. If you could sit down with your younger self for coffee today, what's one piece of advice you would give her? I would give her a big hug to start with, because she deserves it. I would pay for her coffee. And what would I tell her? Lots of things, I guess. I would tell her, first of all, relax, take it easy. Don't try to be a perfectionist. You are doing a wonderful job, and don't think you can juggle it all and do it all. Of course, you have to stretch your limits, as is my life, a part of my life motto. But also be mild to yourself, and know what's good for you. You will want to do things perfectly. You will want to be a fantastic colleague and have a professional career that's successful. You will want to be a perfect mother. You will want to be a perfect daughter. You will want to care for everyone around you. But it's going to be very difficult to combine all that. So I would maybe even tell her, don't even try. Just know that you do your best. Know that you will be appreciated for what you do. But don't try to do everything, because if you do that, then you will not care for yourself. So it's a very important piece of advice that I would like to give my younger self is care for yourself, because that's the way you can care for your work and you can care for other people. What's the one thing about you outside of your work that people might not expect? A hidden passion, a quirky habit, or a personal victory? It's actually, I think in my case, it's a personality trait. Some people might not know that I'm actually a very introverted, maybe even shy person. When I was a child, other kids would even ask my mother if I could speak. That's how quiet I was, always in the background. And I think if people see me now presenting, being on a podium, moderating conversations, they will not expect that deep inside of me I'm actually a really shy person who who doesn't dare to talk.